And here I come. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. This is Dr. Arindam and you are watching the Teaching Doc. Now, we all make mistakes in life, okay? And we learn from it. But when it comes to stock photography, there are certain mistakes that you can avoid as long as I am there to guide you. So in today's video, we'll be discussing about 19 such newbie mistakes that you can actually avoid and make your stock photography experience much better. So let's get started. Those who are watching me for the first time, I am a doctor and a hobbyist stock photographer. I upload weekly video guides to help you guys sell your photography. Now, for those who are a regular viewer of my channel, I apologize for uploading this video a bit late of my schedule because I was stuck with a lot of duties. Okay, I posted a YouTube status. Now, let us look into those mistakes. Okay, now this is nothing new. Okay, I'm not giving you a magic formula. I have told this time and time again, and this is an article that I will be citing. This article is in Shutterstock forum only, and it was posted as long as 6 years back, as early as 6 years back, 2014, December 20th. Now it has been there. For those who are enthusiasts like me, I always browse the forum and I made sure I didn't do these mistakes when I started my stock photography. But there are certain people who might not be aware of this, so I thought of making this video. So I will just elaborate in brief all these points, and I will include this link in the video description also, so you can go find the link and you can read this on your own. In that case, you don't need to see this video. Okay, so point number one, which I have been telling you over and over again in a lot of videos, is not to view your files in full size, in full resolution. That is a must. Why? Because unless you view them in 100% resolution or size, you will not be able to find all those minor mistakes that might look fine if you are viewing this photo in a simple monitor without zooming in. Moreover, this is the exact size in which a reviewer will also view your photos. So you must not super zoom it. You shouldn't zoom it 200 or 300 times and you should search for errors. Yes, if you zoom it that much, there might be errors, okay, in every photo. But what I tell you and what they say is a must thing to do is to zoom your photo to 100%, check for any errors, and then upload by correcting those errors. Point number two, the main subject of this image is not in focus. This is one of the most notorious problem that will drive you mad. Okay, I have made videos, multiple video guides regarding how to solve that issue. If your photos are actually correct and in focus, still you are thinking that Shutterstock or any other agency is rejecting your photos. But what if your photos are actually not in focus? Okay, there may be two reasons and immediately they can be corrected. Number one, if you are using a very shallow prime lens, make sure you are using a narrow aperture so that you can increase the depth of field, and in that way you can get the subject in focus. And number two, if you are trying to click a moving object or if you are clicking photo in a handheld camera, make sure you're using a high shutter speed. Okay, because motion blur during clicking due to your either handshake or the subject moving will also lead to rejection of your images due to these focus problem. Okay, so remember, to correct focus you should always use narrow aperture, f5.6, f6.3, f8, f10, and always use a high shutter speed. Okay, at least more than 200th of a second if you are clicking a still object handheld, no matter how much your hand is stable. Okay, yes, many photographer will tell you with an image stabilized lens you can go till minus 130, okay, 1 by 30, but I will say don't take a chance. Okay, few photos which may be rare and you will get only one chance, you will never get any chance to retake that photo. If you are having stock photography in mind, always set an aperture to narrow value and always set the shutter to a high speed value. The next one is noise. Okay, I have made videos regarding noise reduction techniques. It can be done in phone, it can be done in laptop, it can be done in desktop. What I recommend is to use a desktop PC with a large monitor so that you can view your files by zooming into 100%. Why? Because no matter how good your camera is, if you are clicking in raw mode, that I recommend always, your image will have some noise. It will have some color noise, it will have some luminance noise. So make sure you remove them before formatting the final image into the JPG or uploadable format. Okay, and then you need to upload your photo. Not viewing your photo in 100% zoom is one of the most important reasons why your photos will be rejected. And if you do proper noise reduction technique, trust me, you will be pleased how much your acceptance rate is increased in Shutterstock. So is there anything you can do to remove this noise while clicking the photo? Yes, definitely you need to use excess amount of light. If you are shooting indoor, go near your window or use a big light source. Most importantly, you can use the sunlight. Okay, definitely sunlight will cast a very hard shadow, so you need some diffuser. Okay, there are mechanisms by which you can click a photo with very good light exposure. So mastering the exposure of photography is essential in order to get high success in stock photography. And what should be the ISO setting? I personally recommend to keep your ISO setting below 400. Okay, yes, your camera company might be giving ad that even at ISO 12800 it's fully noise free. It's not. Okay, stock photography reviewers are very strict in noise department. So even if at 1600 ISO, even at 800 ISOs, images get rejected due to noise. Okay, you must be having nightmare hearing this, but in low light, even 800 ISO can give noise. So you may ask me, so what is the final outcome then? If I not raise my ISO, if the image is in low light, I'll be able to take that photo. Well, that's a trade-off. Okay, either you need to take a good photo, okay, you live that moment and you keep that photo, you print that photo for your memory. But if you want that photo to sell in stock photography agency, if you want that photo to be accepted in stock photography agency, you must make sure you click in a low ISO setting using a lot of light. The next, compression artifact. Okay, yes, one of the most notorious reason for rejection is compression artifact. Okay, you can avoid this. Yes, I have made videos, but the gist is when you are clicking in raw, okay, if you're using a DSLR, always click in raw or TIFF format and never JPEG, because the more you edit a JPEG, the more compression artifacts will creep in. And if you're a mobile phone photographer, if you are using JPEG format only, RAW is not available to you, then make sure you are not over editing, or at least you are editing minimally. Even if you crop a photo or you just make minor correction in brightness and contrast, still compression artifacts are added with each edit in a JPEG format. So whatever you do, if you're editing a JPEG, edit once and then done. Okay, so this is how you can avoid JPEG compression artifacts, and thus stock photography rejection rate will be greatly reduced. The next point deals with over editing. Okay, overuse of noise reduction or overuse of sharpening will lead to problems. Okay, if you use noise reduction too much, the error will be the main subject of this image is not in focus, and if you over sharpen an image, there will be compression artifacts. Okay, so please avoid them. Okay, so never over edit your image. The next reason might not be mentioned in rejection. It will be mentioned as technical issues. Okay, but the main reason for rejection, if your image has got no noise and if you think it is in focus, is presence of chromatic aberration. Now what is chromatic aberration? It's the purple line or purple fringing near the edges if low quality lenses and smartphones are used in clicking stock photographs. Okay, the only way to remove chromatic aberration is number one, by using very high quality lenses during clicking a photo, or number two, removing the chromatic aberration in post production using software like Adobe Photoshop. Okay, if none of them is an option to you, then I'm afraid your photos will be rejected and you can do nothing about it. Next is sensor dust. Okay, now sensor dust will produce some constant flakes or spots in your image, especially when you are clicking on an object with clean white background or skies. They become noticeable and it will lead to instant rejection of your stock photos. Okay, even if your images are accepted with these errors, remember a buyer will never buy your photo because he or she will open it in a full resolution before purchasing, and if he or she sees there is a sensor dust, your photos have got zero chance of sale. So how you can remove the sensor dust? It's actually very easy. You can easily remove it in Photoshop using clone stamp tool or patch tool. I will make videos how to do that, but remove sensor dust. And for that you need to view your image in 100% resolution. So make it a habit. The next point is very important, that is poor editing. Okay, if you have not mastered your editing in Photoshop or whatever software you're using, okay, your photos will be rejected. If it looks obvious, if the editing looks so bad, okay, it might look good to you, you might get very good comments from photographers who are not as good as you, but you actually may not be as good as what the industry needs. Okay, so remember, if the photos are not up to the mark, they are not properly edited, they have some cloning issue, okay, there are jagged edges or the selection is not smooth, then your photos will be rejected. So I suggest you please master proper editing before starting stock photography. Point number 9, irrelevant keywords. Extremely important. You can use Shutterstock keyword tool or whatever you want. If you are copying keywords from a photo to your image, okay, there is 100% chance that some of the keywords are actually not necessary for your image. It's not applicable to your image. In spite of that, if you just use those keywords and you submit your image, Shutterstock will definitely accept, but your images will be downranked so much that it will never sell. So remember, always use the appropriate and relevant keywords only. The next mistake is one of the most common beginners mistake. Okay, when we are uploading photos into social media, we are so scared that someone will steal our photo. Yes, so what we do, we always use tags. Okay, copyright this, and most of your photos are saved like that. When now if you upload that into Shutterstock or any other agency, your photos will be instantly rejected because copywriting or trademark or signature or stamps are not allowed. Shutterstock will put their own trademark, their own stamps in your photo so that nobody can download or steal your images from their database. Okay, so never ever upload images with watermark. If you are using watermark, always remove them and then upload. The next point is regarding model releases. Now this article is old. Okay, it says not attaching model releases. Nowadays is not an option even. So my point is, if you want to sell good photos with human models, you must submit them as commercial, and for commercial photo acceptance you must need a model or property release. If you are wondering how a model or property release is filled or what is a model and property release, I have got dedicated videos and you will find their links in description. But remember, human model photos are the ones that are best seller in today's stock photography market. Point number 12 may not be relevant for you if you are using proper English model releases. However, there are many viewers who might write their names in foreign languages. Okay, those languages are not acceptable. You can go to Shutterstock forum and you can check out 14 available foreign languages in which the model release form is already available. If you are using any language other than that, even if you are using the English model release form and you are signing using some your native language, it will be rejected. The error that you will be getting is invalid model release. So make sure you are using proper English typed model release and you are signaturing it manually or digitally as you're suited. Okay, so remember, unacceptable foreign release is one of the rare cause of rejection of model releases, and if your model release are rejected, your well thought posed stock photo will also be rejected. The next reason is incorrect tagging. What I mean is, when you upload a photo, there are multiple tags: photography, illustration, I mean photos, illustration, editorial, mature content, okay, nudity. So what are those? You need to know in detail about all of them. So what are photos, what are illustrations? I have already made that difference clear in last week's video, but just know this: if you are clicking something using your camera, it's a photograph. If you are drawing or digitally creating something, it's illustration. If you are uploading content which is of public interest and worth a documentary or newsworthy review, it's editorial. Okay, editorial images do not need model releases. Anything other than that is commercial. If you're using a photo that contains some private body parts, then it is mature content, nudity, etc. So you need to be very clear. So often we click all the options as a beginner and your photos are rejected. And if you click editorial, they will give you the error, incorrect editorial caption, which brings us to the next point. If you're uploading a photo which is editorial content, you must give editorial captions. It will start with date, the place, what is happening, what, when, where and who, and then it will end with the place and year of your uploading. Okay, I have made detailed video how to make an editorial caption using multiple examples. You can follow that. And never click editorial if you're uploading a plain photo as commercial. Okay, even if your title and description are right, the error will be invalid editorial caption or incorrect editorial caption. So unless you're submitting editorial intentionally, never click editorial. Now, you may not be a photographer, you may be a graphic designer, and you are a master of drawing, you are a master of creating vectors, you are a master of creating editorial content. If you are creating an editorial content in illustration, you must mention the keyword illustrative editorial. Okay, without this illustrative editorial, your content will be rejected. Now, the next problem that is a very common reason of rejection for graphic designers, especially beginners, is missing reference image. What is a reference image? Reference image is a source image from which you draw your illustration, or you made your illustration by getting inspired from that. Okay, or you may have traced that design, you may have traced 2-3 designs and you made a composite design, a textile design, whatever it is. You need to upload those images as reference images by going to the property release menu. Yes, it may seem complicated, but don't worry, I'll make a separate complete video regarding reference image and how to manage that issue. So always provide reference images if you are a beginner graphic designer. Point number 17, if you are scanning some artwork. Okay, suppose you have drawn and you have scanned your artwork and you are uploading as a high definition HD JPEG image, you should always include the property release even if you are the artist. It may happen in case of any design, it may happen in case of a tattoo, but any artwork, a signed property release is a must. Consult my model and property release video for the appropriate step-by-step guide. The next point is for illustrators and graphic designers. If you are drawing photo of any famous celebrity, that will be accepted. The next point is for graphic designers and illustrators. If you are making cartoon or a graphic or an infographic or a painting of any celebrities, that will only be accepted as editorial content and not commercial. So always click editorial option and give proper editorial caption for your created artwork of celebrities. And the last point of this article is for vector artist. Always upload your vectors in EPS 10 format. Okay, because your vectors need to be compatible with clients who may be using some older version of Adobe Illustrator. So that brings us to the end of this long video. I hope I have been able to clear some mistake that you are doing, and I hope you will be seeing this video and you will be correcting your own mistakes by doing all the things that I have mentioned which you should not do. Now time for code of the day. If you have watched this video till now, you need to mention this word newbie in the comment section. Okay, I will know that you have not skipped it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please share this video with your friends, photographers and cousins who love photography so that we can build a strong community of stock photographers. I will see you next week with another exciting video. Till then, bye and take care.